Helen Yee here with Eyes on the Game, and exciting weekend. It is the first ever WWE Women's Elimination Chamber, and I'm super excited to be joined by the two-time Women's Raw champion and also the longest reigning ever Alexa Bliss joining me here in studio. How does it feel to not only be here in Las Vegas, but to be able to defend your title at the historic event?
I'm really excited because this is a great moment for women in WWE with this women's evolution. You know, we keep setting the bar higher and higher, and we keep having these historic matches and main eventing, and I think this is just another step to that top of the women's evolution, and I'm really excited to be in this match, especially going in as Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah, and I do know that you defeated Sasha Banks to win your title back, and now she'll be in that chamber as well. So, I mean, can you kind of give us an insight as to who you feel, will be your biggest challenge?
Honestly, I do not feel that Sasha is my biggest challenge because, every time I face Sasha, there was that one time where she did beat me, but ever since then, every time she's tried to face me for the title, I've come out victorious. But I feel like, honestly, my biggest competition will be Mickie James. And that's kind of the reason why I've been trying to form an alliance. You know what I mean? Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Smart.
We've had a lot of history in WWE. I was the one that brought her back to WWE. And we were friends for a while, and then she stabbed me in the back. And so I know she's 100% capable of it. So I just have to make sure that, my eyes are on Mickie and, go from there.
And with that being said, so do you kind of regret bringing her back in a way?
Do I regret it? No, because I'm very proud to say that I've had matches with Mickie James. Like, that's what any woman would love to say. I've had some of my best matches with Mickie James. And to be in the ring with a veteran like her and to learn from her and to, have matches with a woman who was a 7-time champion, like, that's amazing. Or 6-time champion. 6 or 7.
A lot. Yeah.
So it's just like, it's something that I don't regret because it's something that you can't write it any better.
Yes, that's very true. And then I know the importance of you saying that you want to defend your title, this weekend and go into WrestleMania as a champion. So what would that mean for you to, hang on to your title and go to WrestleMania?
It would mean a lot to me to, retain my title and go to WrestleMania because I've spent all year pretty much as some kind of champion. I was at the beginning of the year, I was SmackDown Women's Champion. As soon as I was drafted to Raw, shortly after I became Raw Women's Champion, 2-time Raw Women's Champion, and to have held the title pretty much all year, I would love to be able to say that I went into my first WrestleMania as SmackDown Women's Champion and my second WrestleMania as Raw Women's Champion. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that happens.
Yeah, and you've achieved so much in such a short amount of time. And I do want to bring this up because I know the Women's Royal Rumble happened, and I know before I get into one of your favorite female wrestlers, Trish Stratus, and, the fact that she was there, someone else made their full-time WWE debut, Ronda Rousey. She will be there this weekend. What do you think about her transition from the UFC to WWE?
I think it's great. Anything that we can do to bring another audience into what we do at WWE. And she has been a forefront in UFC and has made an amazing name for herself. And she knows the grind and she knows kind of what we go through, but in a different way, if that makes sense. She knows what the training is like. She knows what the discipline is like. She knows what the travel is like. So I think if we have people from NFL, if we have people from, that play hockey, gymnastics, dancers, why not UFC? I think it's amazing, and I think that, she'll be a great addition and something new to the women's evolution that we've never had before.
And have you had to give her any advice yet, or has she reached out to you since you're champ?
Well, the only interaction we really had was at the Royal Rumble where she came in and eyed my title, but
and she pointed.
She pointed right at it, and I was like, oh, heck no.
And how do you think she'll do, though?
I think she'll do great. She has a skill set of her own that a lot of people don't have that advantage of coming in with knowing how to defend themselves and knowing the ropes, and she has that advantage of coming in and having years of that training already. So I think she'll do fine.
and everything's been fine? Like, the locker room, like, everyone's getting along and stuff?
Absolutely. Everyone always gets along. You know, I mean,
that's good.
I don't, for some reason, not everyone likes me. I think it's because I'm the champion and everyone wants my title. I'm just kidding. No.
You do have a nice title.
Right? Everyone does get along great. You know, it's we're all like a dysfunctional family. You know, we travel together 300 days a year. And if you don't get along with somebody, you have to squash that immediately because you have to see them 5 days a week without, basically, unwillingly.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good too to have women support one another. And
of course.
I mean, like you said too, now with women's wrestling being, you know, like this weekend on the forefront. But I do want to bring up Trish Stratus because I know you've mentioned before, I mean, your favorites, Rey Mysterio, Trish Stratus. So with her being back in the Royal Rumble, how was that experience? And you've met her before that, though, right?
I actually met her just the week before at Raw 25.
Oh, wow.
Or no, the day after. No.
Before.
It
was the week before.
Week before, Raw 25. Yeah. I just met her then. And Lillian Garcia had made that happen because I had done Lillian's podcast, and she was like, "Oh, talk about you remind me of Trish," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love Trish so much," and all this stuff. And, so she arranged for me to meet Trish and get a picture with her, and it was so cool because I was like trying to play it cool. I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you," but then like inside I was dying. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Trish Stratus." But it was really cool, especially because like before she went out, you know, she gave me a hug and she was like, "I'm so excited," and I was like, "You guys are gonna kill it." And then after when she got eliminated, she was crawling by me and she just gave me this look like, "I'll see you later," and I was just like, okay.
Oh.
I was like, I would love to get in the ring with you.
So, and I know we're running a bit short on time, but does that mean you like the Trish-Lita rivalry that went on about 10 years ago? Because that was, like, my favorite.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. And, you know, they were the first women to main event Raw. And so that feud that rivalry is definitely something that will go down in history. And I think that I don't know if any other rivalry for the females in WWE will ever live up to that because that was such an amazing rivalry and it had that first ever main event of Raw.
Yes.
And that was a huge step in the women's evolution, especially because I always say, you know, people say that the evolution started with the Four Horsewomen. It did, but it didn't. It started with the women before us, the divas. It started with, you know, the 2-second matches, the bra and panty matches, you know, the things they had to do. We wouldn't have this women's evolution if they didn't have to perform that way and earn those opportunities for us now. Yeah. And so that's why I was really excited about the Women's Royal Rumble match because it took more than just, you know, the Four Horsewomen to get here. It took more than the women in NXT.
It was
took
like decades
and decades of legends and divas. And so to have an all-inclusive match with women's legends and future girls in NXT, it was just, I think that was the epitome of the evolution because everyone was involved, everyone was included, and everyone made that moment happen.
Yes, and more moments happening this Sunday at the WWE Elimination Chamber. Once again, thank you so much for your time. And I kind of told you before we got on air that a little fun fact, you are 7 days older than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know it's like the most random, not cool fact ever, but
no, it's great.
I was like, oh, we're both Leos, you know, you've accomplished
That's why we get
so
along
much.
so well.
Right? Yeah, and I love your outfit.